Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be recapping two teams that I used to climb to my season high rating of 2788. I'm pretty happy with the rating. I achieved it during my dual stream with Beebsbro. Beebsbro was also able to hit expert, so congratulations to him. I featured two different teams, as I mentioned. The first team does have a lot of XLs, which is going to be Jellicent with Hex, Ice Beam, and Shadow Ball. G-Fist, Best Buddy with the standard moveset, and then Dragonite with Hurricane. This is a team suggested by JRS, J Robin Stacks, a fantastic streamer. Definitely check him out. I've done dual streams with him in the past and been on his stream. Really fantastic battler. The second team is a team by Mai, who I featured a Glaceon team with, and as well has been on my stream. And again, really elite battler as well. That team consists of Surfetch, Alolan Muck, and regular Snorlax, all non-XL. So both teams are great, very useful. I'm going to be walking through the battles, talking about the pros and cons with each of the teams. My Jellicent is not fully XL'd yet. I think it's like level 47.5. It needs to get to level 49. Okay, so Jellicent versus Swampert. You would think this actually would be a much better matchup for Jellicent, but it's not. Jellicent actually loses the 0 and 1 shield if the Swampert correctly baits. I get baited all the time here, so I'm not going to shield the first time for this particular instance. That's just really just a coin flip. And I'm going to build up. He's built up quite a bit of energy. I am going to shield here. He's basically built up to like almost 100 energy at this point in time. And then he's going to be able to... He's going to throw Hydro Cannon here. I was going to do one more Hex and then throw the move just before the Earthquake. But at this point in time, I want to farm down. I don't think I can farm down, so I'm going to switch out to Dragonite and take it out. And the opponent comes into Dragonite with Machamp, which is a very odd counter switch. They decided not to shield. And at this point in time, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to shield Dragonite, right? Like, I have 3 healthy Pokemon. I am down 2 shields to 0, but I have 3 healthy Pokemon. They have a Shadow Claw Typhlosion, which is very odd, to be honest. Definitely not what I was expecting. And then I actually think we CMP tie here, which is really good for me. And they throw the Blast Burn. And then, actually, I told Beebros, I'm like, I'm not even sure this actually KOs. And it doesn't KO. I have a rank 1 Dragonite, and I'm able to switch in just throw the Shadow Ball. I missed a couple bubbles there. They actually end up surviving with a little bit of HP, but this game's over, right? So, and then they decide to leave the match there. Next match is against Ferrixer, a very strong battler, great content creator. I actually already knew his team because he had battled Beebsbro previously, so that kind of sucked knowing it in advance. But this is an okay matchup for Jellicent. Obviously, if I had Bubble Beam, I would actually recommend Bubble Beam with this team because the Ice Beam didn't really come in handy for me at all in these situations. I'm going to shield once, and I'm not going to shield another time. So I should be able to live this Leaf Blade, which is going to deal super effective damage. See, if I had Bubble Beam, I would be able to bait and reduce this confusion damage. I'm actually going to save this Jellicent just for a sack later. And so I'm going to switch it to Dragonite. And then I do expect him to just close combat here. So I'm going to shield. The close combat would do about like half my health to Dragonite. And then he comes into Escavalier. Actually, I only knew that he had Escavalier. I actually didn't know what the third Pokemon was. I throw the Hurricane. And that's going to hit for neutral damage. And Escavalier is very squishy. So it ends up surviving with 1 HP. But the subsequent Dragon Breath afterwards KO. Comes back in with Gallade. He's not going to be able to make it to move. I'm going to be able to farm down. He comes in with Swampert. I'm going to build up. I try to CMP tie there. But I'm in a pretty good spot right now. And he actually lets me get to another Dragon Claw. And that's the advantage of overcharging there. And I'm actually going to switch here and sack G-Fist. And save my Dragonite. Arguably, I could have just let Dragonite go down, but I wasn't exactly sure when they were going to throw. And they're going to throw the second one here. And this is actually totally fine here. The Swampert doesn't have that much energy left. And I should be able to just Dragon Breath down. I'm just going to wait the clock. And I can live one more mud shot, so I can get another hex through if I need to. So I'm able to win the game there. So very nice. Again, I think this team is a little bit better with Bubble Beam. The Ice Beam is really nice. Well, I clearly I didn't cut this video properly because should be moving on to the next match. Uh, with Bubble Beam, it's definitely better in some of those instances, like against the Gallade, where you're reducing the damage. Let me actually try to move this. Okay, there you go. We're going to go Jellicent into G-Fest. This is a very weird matchup here, to be honest. So, obviously, I expect like some anti-fighting in the back. Anti-Swampert as well. So, I throw the Shadow Ball here. I'm able to reach the Shadow Ball before the first Earthquake, which takes 8 seconds. And then the Shadow Ball takes 7.5. This is a very uncomfortable matchup for Jellicent. Since the East of Shadow Balls only do like 33%, so it certainly adds up. So they come into their own Jellicent. The next Shadow Ball actually takes me one less turn. I'm definitely gonna lose CMP because I'm very underleveled, and this is a very high rank Jellicent. So I'm gonna let this go, and then I think I switch here to Dragonite, and then I just pray. I just pray that they don't have Ice Beam. I can live with Shadow Ball pretty easily. And I know that they have a Rock Slide, so there's no point in shielding. I'd live the Rock Slide as well. I'm going to throw here, which is going to be a CMP tie with the G-Fist. And I'm going to wait the clock here. And I'm going to wait the clock. I'm going to look to Mud Shot down. And I call the bait here because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Rock Slide. I think they need like 2 more for the Earthquake. So, and then they have Dragalge, which is obviously weak to ground moves. And I do a boatload of damage there. And these Dragon Tails are very slow. I actually tried to catch the move there, but then we end up simultaneously KOing, and I'm able to Mud Shot down the G-Fist. So very nice win for me. Okay, so this is a pretty tough Pokemon to deal with. This is actually one of the people that I coach. So first off, I actually didn't. I usually don't look at the names. I look at it briefly, but then I don't really remember the names unless it's like someone that I've battled with a lot. And then as well, this person's name is different between Twitch and their Pogo IGN. So I'm not going to shield this. I expect this to be a bait. Ends up being a Weather Ball bait. And I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball here, which doesn't KO. And then at this point in time, they should farm me down, but they're afraid I'm going to reach another move. So they decide to throw there, which is perfectly fine for me. I'm going to go straight into G-Fist here. I'm just going to throw the Rock Slide. Hope that we CMP. Looks like they decided not to throw. Maybe they were trying to reach the Energy Ball, but that's fine. And then they come into Empoleon, and kind of an interesting play here. I almost switched out. Thank goodness I didn't. They come into, I don't even know what the heck this thing is, Amarose or something like that. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They got an extra charm there, but if they don't shield this will be GG anyways. And then I'm just going to commit to the Earthquake here, which I should be able to just barely make. I'm gonna transfer this Waterfall, not because I care about the damage. I just want to get energy as soon as possible, and then as well the potential chance to do one more Mud Shot later. They have a lot of energy, so I'm gonna shield this, but they're gonna make it to another Drill Peck before I make it to the Hurricane, which will KO this Empoleon here. I'm really proud of the student. They climbed, they reached Legend like during like the second last week or something like that, or like the last week of the season, and they were able to. They're pretty high up, like probably like 2,700 something. Only it's Rosbug, another really strong battler. So I expect this to be the Kingdra Swampert team. So I'm going to build up to 7 here, just in case he decides to throw the Brave Bird. But I actually didn't know who actually won CMP. Looks like, and he tried to deny my pass move, which he was able to. But the thing is, I do outpace the Skarmory. So we're going to CMP tie on this one here, which they end up winning CMP. So it's good knowledge for me to know. I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball here. And it's only 4 for me to get to the next Shadow Ball. And it's 5 for the next Sky Attack. So I'm going to be able to win this one shield just purely because I outpace the Skarmory with Hex through the residual energy. The only unfortunate part is I know they're going to come in Kingdra here. And I thought about this, whether or not I should switch or not. But I decided not to. And I really maybe should have Rock Slided here. But I end up getting debuffed. I know there's a Swampert in the back. For sure there's a Swampert in the back. So I'm going to throw the Rock Slide here. Not the Rock Slide, Earthquake here. It is debuffed. I did get 2-stage debuff, but another Earthquake does KO. So they make a very nice catch here onto Swampert, which is fine for me because this damage is still very good to apply to Swampert. And they're going to throw the Hydro Cannon right away. I'm going to let it go. I'm in a pretty favorable situation right now. I actually really didn't necessarily know how to play this end game here. What I should have done, so I threw basically a CMP tie with the second Hydro Cannon, which they end up shielding. I let this go. What I should have done here is I should have committed to the farm down. Yeah, because then the thing is like, then I give their Kingdra a little bit of farm. They're basically in Rock Slide range anyways. So I don't get a mud shot through, which is pretty terrible for me. They have a lot of energy. So they're going to be able to reach another Octazooka, which I do live, and they get the second time I don't get a mud shot through. I actually need 3 more mud shots. So I lagged a little bit there for one turn. It was very stressful there, and ended up completing the 5-0 set with this team against our Rosbug. So a very strong battler there. So now I'm playing this new team here, which consists of Surfetch, a Alolan Muck with Poison Jab, Acid Spray, and Dark Pulse, and then the standard moveset with... I try to catch the Weather Ball. They come into Nidoqueen, which is fine for me. I throw the Body Slam there. They're definitely over energy. I think they only need 4 more for the next Poison Fang. It definitely was enough energy for the Earth Power. Okay, yeah, I thought we were going to CMP tie there, but I was 1 turn off. But that doesn't matter too much because I'm going to be able to get to this Body Slam regardless. And then I have a Leaf Blade already, so they're not going to be able to utilize this energy that they had by farming down. But honestly, this Roserade is... I really needed the Roserade to throw in. They throw the Weather Ball here, I think. They throw the Weather Ball, which I thought was pretty interesting. And they come into Polito, and this is looking pretty bad for me. Okay, I play this. This is a very tricky situation for me here. I did let a Mud Shot through there, so I'm going to throw the Dark Pulse here. And then I shield this. I should have let this go. And then I throw here. This is going to be a CMP tie. But their counting is just too good here. Their counting is just way too good here. So, and then the clock is up, so they're just going to switch to Roserade, which they already have a bunch of energy on, and I'm not going to be able to... I do get an extra counter through, and then maybe the counters plus a double resist Leaf Blade would be enough, but they just have way too much energy. Yeah. They're just be able to outpace me pretty badly, so that was a very tough lead to deal with. It would have certainly been closer if I were able to maybe play for Switch, but that's okay. All right, we're going to this next matchup here. I go Surfetch into Machamp. So what I want to do here is I want to try to get the extra counter in, because if I get the extra counter in, then that's really favorable for me because these fast moves are doing a lot of damage. Surfetch does win CMP over Machamp. So as you can see, they're outpacing me from a fast move perspective. Let no counter through, so I'm going to throw the next Leaf Blade right away. And then I plan not to shield this Surfetch here because I wouldn't survive the counters. It would have been really close here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to farm down with Alolan Muck and just load up. And I'm able to farm down before they get to a move. I took neutral. They come into Venusaur, so this is obviously extremely favorable situation for me. I expect like a Charmer or Jellicent in the back. And then I believe I get an extra move through here, and I decide to let this go. But this match is already over, right? So, and I'm going to throw the Dark Pulse here to take out this Venusaur. And then they have Jellicent here, which I would be able to beat with Snorlax and Jellicent, Snorlax and Alolan Muck combined. Okay, so this is pretty good for me. So try to get the extra counter through, which I do, which is great for me. But this person played, or shouldn't. I'm not going to shield this because I don't want to go down shields, and as well I live it. And I throw the Leaf Blade here, and this opponent makes a really nice play right here. They actually catch the Leaf Blade onto Typhlosion, so they have a Hydro Cannon banked. I'm going to go into Alolan Muck. I do have to shield this Blast Burn, which would do more damage than a Hydro Cannon. And I'm looking okay here. I'm going to throw at 4, which is basically 1 second or 2 turns before they get to the second Blast Burn. They no shield this. And they have I think they're 1 short of the Hydro Cannon. No, they have it already. So they're going to go straight for this is directly for the Earthquake. I really thought about shielding this. I decided not to. And then I come into Surfetch because I believe I'm going to be able to make a move. I would be super low, but I'm trusting the IVs I have. And I'm actually not even entirely sure I would have made it, to be honest. And then I come into Snorlax here. The unfortunate part, okay, I throw in the middle of this confusion here. I should have did one more lick. I should do shorten the confusion animation because it's right before they get to close combat. And they're just going to double Leaf Blade me here. So I shield the first one in case they try to close combat me. But they're just going to go for double Leaf Blade, which is okay. Because this Swampert is 1 short of the move. Because it's on its... I just did the Earth... Actually, I'm not entirely sure there. I thought they had the move there, but apparently not. They were 1 short, and I'm able to body slam and take them out. So I already know Tiny Boy's team because I watch his stream, but honestly, I should have stayed versus the Machamp. So I actually looked up this sim like literally right beforehand. So Alolan Muck actually wins the 2 shield and 1 shield straight acid spray. And I decided to shield once here, but here's the thing, right? Like I can't afford this second shield. So I'm actually going to let this go. And I probably should have farmed down or tried to farm down. I don't really know here. I guess I wouldn't have been able to farm down, but they get a huge farm. He plays this like brilliantly here. Like I really should have switched there because the farm down was just going to be too much. I'm weary of him trying to catch, but him trying to catch would actually help me win the game. What I should have done was I should have immediately switched to Snorlax. Because once I immediately switch to Snorlax, he would come in Obstagoon. He doesn't have Cross Chop on his Obstagoon. He has a Hyper Beam. And then I thought about shielding here, but to be honest, like he's gonna get to another frenzy, and then I go for the leaf blade here. It gets a vine whip through, which is really bad for me here, because I'm gonna be just no, actually I'm like pretty far off the move here, because he's gonna have back-to-back frenzies. Yeah, well, the one counter plus lick would have been enough, but he played that really well. Honestly, double counter users is pretty rough for this team, because basically Snorlax has like almost no positive matchups. So we have one last game here, which is gonna be Surfetch into. Okay, so they end up having Charm, which is pretty bad for me. So I let this go. I was really hoping it was going to be Powder Snow, that I could stay, and it's actually not that bad in matchup. So I no shield, and they come into Obstagoon here. And I can't tell. Okay, so they have quite a bit of energy. I'm just going to no shield this. I actually kind of was a little bit surprised here. So he throws the Hyper Beam at me. And then I'm just going to farm down with Alolan Muck and take it out. And then I think he actually comes into Snorlax here. And then I'm not going to bait with the Acid Spray. I'm going to throw straight Dark Pulse here. And it does a pretty huge chunk. I'm just going to shield this Snorlax against the Snorlax. And they make an attempt to try to catch my Dark Pulse, but I end up throwing an Acid Spray at the Ninetales. And this Ninetales, these moves are hurting quite a bit. So I throw the Acid Spray here. And I believe they try to double up here, but I'm able to just barely farm them down. They make the right play here. And as you can see, these Poison Jabs and Acid Spray is just so deadly there. They literally missed the double Body Slam just by a little bit, but because of the buff Poison Jab and then Acid Spray being a little bit cheaper and just being so oppressive, just such a really amazing move combination. And also this team, Surfetch, Alolan Muck, Snorlax, is very similar to the Wholesome _ team from the Wholesome _ stream. His team consists of Shadow Machamp, Alolan Muck, and then Shadow Snorlax. So the Shadow Snorlax obviously has a little bit of a different play than the regular Snorlax, and as well Shadow Machamp, different than Surfetch, but they're very similar roles. So anyway, so I was able to reach my season high of 2788. I really like both teams. Obviously the second team didn't do as well, but I think they're both really capable of allowing trainers to climb really high, and they're really effective teams. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.